Good morning, my beauties. Welcome to another edition of the Free Exchange of Ideas. I am traveling today to Rio Vista, which is a little town outside of Sacramento. And I know I'm using backlight because if I use a front light, it really pushes a bunch of glare on my windshield I can't see. So hopefully this isn't too bad for you. I have two things for you. I was just listening to the Fox Report and NPR. Because if you don't get both sides, you'll never find the truth in the middle. President Biden and Donald Trump are very close, amazingly enough to me, very close in the polls. Now, Trump is saying he gets Wisconsin and he gets Georgia and Nevada and Arizona, and yeah, that's a possibility. Nevada, I think, is worth 2. Arizona is worth 10 or 12, not very many votes, but he gets them, and he didn't get them last time, so that's kind of important. But I don't know that he actually has Wisconsin. According to Fox, he doesn't, but he's only down like 2 or 3 points, so it's a place where he's able to make up space and catch up. He might still carry Wisconsin, but he is being absolutely railroaded by a justice system, I'm going to finger quote, justice system, that is out to crush us. Not him. They're using him as a scapegoat. They are using him as the leader of the party. Yeah, if you take off the head, the snake falls apart. I'm telling you right now, one of my good friends, the guy who used to do this show with me, he is a hardcore Democrat. It's one of the reasons I wanted him to do the show with me in the beginning. He's a hardcore Democrat, not for philosophical reasons. He doesn't believe in the Democrat Party. He's a power monger. And he has no power. He's a nobody. He's in the political realm because that's his degree, and he's done it for quite a long time. But he still has no power. People in larger campaigns have no idea who he is, which is not to say he's not good. He probably is good at his job. He's done a lot. He's done it for quite some time. But he has no scruples, and he has no bearing north. He doesn't care that Joe Biden is running the country into the ground, or the Democrat Party is running the country into the ground. Joe Biden can't run a fucking electric toy car through the halls of Congress. He's that much of an idiot, and the halls are that wide. If he was a shooter, I'd say he couldn't hit the wide side of a barn with a shotgun from the inside. That's how good Joe Biden is at his job. He is a thief, and he's not alone. I mean, if you're in Congress for, let's say, more than 6 years, you are a thief. There's just no getting around it. People know what you are, they know who you are in Congress, and they take advantage of it. So, all that being said, he has no scruples. He's not alone. That's the problem with the Democrat Party bottom feeders. People who are what they call low information voters. I don't believe they're low information. Information is out there everywhere. What they are is being fed a bunch of shit, and they're buying it without, again, like I said, without looking. I listen to NPR, I listen to Fox News, I listen to Bloomberg, I listen to Reuters. So I'm trying to get as much information as I can about everything that's going on in the news. Because if you don't, you'll never find that one kernel of truth in all of that garbage. But you have to look for it. Now, I know a lot of people that read the New York Times, period. That's about it. Or they spend a bunch of money on the New York Times just to get the crossword puzzle. And they read the little blurbs about Sasquatch in the Adirondacks or whatever. They don't know what's going on, but there's enough information out there that they get an inkling of what they think is going on. And Facebook and Instagram and all of those places feed that algorithm. The algorithm feeds you what you want to see. Do you have any idea how hard it is for me to get all the information that I want from Facebook? I follow NPR. I almost never get anything from them in my feed. I have to find it and bring it back to me. That's insane. I get all kinds of right-wing crap. And by the way, there's hard right-wing stuff. The little gang of 28 or whatever it is in Congress, the hard righters, I can't disagree with their thought process, but I mean not thought process, with what they're saying. I can't disagree with what they're saying. However, the way they go about getting it done is insane. You can't threaten Congress every freaking time you want a vote done properly, or want a vote done so that it actually works out for you. See this, and here, I know I'm kind of going off on the rails a little bit, but I'm really bent and I've got a long drive. When Joe Biden and the Biden administration really forced the Ukraine, Israel, Taiwan defense budget or defense bill on Congress, we need it. We have to give them that. We have to support them. Blah blah blah. And then, as soon as it gets passed, he spent a year on this, and he added Israel and then Taiwan to the same bill. These are important points, and I might get to them, but you'll understand if you go look. I'm asking you to go look. This is not rocket surgery. It's simple. The information is there to be had. As soon as it gets passed, and there's enough noise about Israel maybe going overboard, they did. There's no doubt. They tried to go scorched earth, but they ramped up to scorched earth rather than just going. At any rate, as soon as the bill gets passed, Biden says, I'm going to withhold it until you fucking listen to me. And I like Netanyahu's response. I really do. If Israel has to go it alone, we will go it alone. Fuck you. That was what he said, basically. Fuck you, Joe Biden. Suck my dick. If you don't want to play in our sandbox, get the fuck out of the way. That was it. I loved it. I thought that was perfect. And he did pull back a little bit. He didn't go full-blown scorched earth in Rafah yet. Hopefully he won't, and he won't have to. But I'm saying, you've got all this up to Rafah, which is basically all the way across that little strip of country, or little strip of... I'm not even sure if Rafah is a country or if it's a province. I'm uncertain how Rafah... I mean, not Rafah. How Gaza fits into that. At any rate, they're basically all the way across Gaza to the Egyptian border. Rafah's the only thing really in the way. I would be coming back from behind me if I was Netanyahu or the generals. I've got all this covered. I know there's tunnels back and forth across this section of the planet. I would start sending battalions into those tunnels and find those fucking people. Tell Hamas, look, here's the deal. We'll stop. If you give us our people back, we will absolutely stop. But you don't give us our people back, and we'll just keep coming. We'll keep coming. We will keep coming. We will keep coming until you're gone. Now, the problem with that is Hamas is not just a political arm of Iran. And that the mindset of Hamas is we must, from the mountains to the sea, right? Gaza must be independent. Gaza has to be protected, and there are tunnels all over the damn place. Now, I don't know how far you can really go in that sandbox and have a solid tunnel, but I'm going to guess somewhere between 20 and 30 feet. You can get pretty deep and get into solid dirt, basically, solid packed dirt, so that you can build good tunnels. But I would start sending battalions through there, or at least companies of soldiers with whatever it takes to destroy the tunnels, to find the people that are still in the tunnels, and destroy the exits and entrances. I know they said that about a hospital in the first or second city they hit, and they destroyed the hospital. Which, yeah, that was a little overkill, in my opinion. Hospitals are important infrastructure. It's not just important as infrastructure, because that's where people get saved. Outside of church, that's where people get saved. But the mindset of Rafah, the mindset of Gaza and Egypt and UAE and Palestine is that they want to wipe Israel off the face of the world. Not just out of their region, off the face of the planet. No more Jews. That's a mindset they are taught from kindergarten, if there's an equivalent. So basically, from birth, they're taught Jews are bad, Jews should be killed, they need to be wiped off the face of the planet. You could destroy Hamas. You can absolutely destroy Hamas. It shouldn't be rocket surgery, to be perfectly honest. However, you are not going to destroy that mindset that way. You're just making them all martyrs. And I know it sucks because you can't leave them in place either. But you can't just go ahead and destroy them. You have to kind of, I don't know, I think you have to kind of go incognito or sub rosa and get in there. Sub rosa meaning under the bush, but meaning hidden. And get in there and do it that way. You have to take people out individually, you know, taking generals out and lieutenants and that kind of stuff, cutting the head off the snake and then eating the snake. It's intensive, it's time consuming, it's resource consuming. But the only way to change the minds is to change the schooling. And you can't change the schooling in that environment. It's not going to happen. I know I kind of got off on I went off on a tangent, and I apologize, but you understand what I'm saying. And when, I'm going to go back to Joe Biden stopped, he said, hey, if you don't get your shit together and do what we tell you, we're not going to give you this stuff. The money's already been spent. The money has already been spent. Think about that. Joe Biden didn't tell Israel they were getting anything. And that money from that defense bill has already been spent. Trust me on this, it's already gone someplace. The money for Ukraine went to Ukraine. They've got all kinds of bombs and flying shit now that they can support themselves with for 6 months, probably at best. And even then, like I said before, when this first started, when this war in Ukraine first started in a year ago now, right? It's a little over a year ago, I think. I said at the beginning, the biggest difference between Ukraine and Russia is Russia's bench is so freaking deep, just physically deep, that if people don't run away or not go to war, Russia wins, period. There's no getting around it. Unless NATO jumps in, and then that turns into a whole nother thing altogether. NATO won't jump in on this because of that. Well, I don't think they're actually truly worried about Putin going with nuclear weapons, at least not worldwide. But he might go tactical nukes in Ukraine. 10 megaton bomb would destroy most of a city and keep it destroyed for decades because of fallout. Having no idea which way the wind goes, you know, that cone goes that way. So, is that a possibility? I honestly don't think so, but I'm afraid that it might be. So, caution is the better part of valor here. On the other hand, not on the other hand, but then the third amount of money for Taiwan, that money's already gone to Taiwan, or that support has already gone to Taiwan. Because I think we call it in dollars, but it's mostly munitions and support stuff. It's not actual cash. I mean, we spent the money on the munitions, and now we're just giving them the munitions. But you know, we think of it in terms of cash, where they buy it from us, and that's not how it works. At least in this sense. So that money's been spent. Money in Ukraine has been spent. I'm telling you right now, the money that they appropriated for Israel has been spent. The munitions and all of that, we're just not giving it up. And that's on a presidential word, which is a load of crap. He fought this for a year and then said, nope, you ain't getting shit. Why? because he wants to be the big dog behind the barn. He wants to be the big dog behind the barn. When you're going to fight, you don't want to fight the big dog behind the barn. Everybody shows up to watch. And I'm telling you right now, you can't win that fight. We have to find a way. I love that the military tried Hearts and Minds in Iraq. I don't think it worked. I know it didn't work in Afghanistan. But we can't do it right now with Democrats. We have to be solid in what we're thinking. In what we're thinking and what we're doing and how we are appropriating funds or making laws. Now, me personally, I'm going to go off on another little tangent. I'm just letting you know. See, here we go. All right. Me personally, I would not be looking at what are considered hardcore right values. It's not my business if it's not my child. Understand? Now, if you are a father or soon-to-be father, I think you should have rights in that arena. However, not my kid, not my right. At any rate, so now move forward. So that's not a thing I think we should be fighting. I'm really disappointed with the Supreme Court going back on Roe. Not because I don't believe in what they did, but because I don't believe it was truly legal. Nobody brought a Roe case to the Supreme Court to fight. This was a tangent case that had implications to Roe. That's what occurred there. And I think that was wrong on their part. But you get 5 conservatives and one that's kind of wishy-washy, you can win that battle. So, and they did a couple things like that. States are doing that. I don't believe in that's probably not the right phrasing. However, my belief in is, again, not my child, not my prerogative. If I have a dog in this fight at all, it is going to be for my daughter and my granddaughter. And that dog is going to be health conscious, health awareness, and health support. Does that mean that she shouldn't, or they shouldn't be able to have an abortion if, God forbid, they need one? No. But, again, not my child, not my concern. So, when Arizona dumped their law from 1860, 1870, whatever it was, old law, about no abortions, I understood that. I believe, I don't like to use the words I think, but I believe that that was the right thing to do. And I'll tell you why. Because it was a blanket no abortion law, which is not a way to conform to society and societal norms. In that, if there was a rape, if there was an incest, which is rape, there was no clause to allow it, to allow an abortion under those circumstances, which is wrong. No woman wants to carry some guy's child that raped them. I wouldn't blame them for not. I wouldn't blame them if we said, no, you can't do that, and they cut it out themselves. Could not find a way to blame them for that. There's room, and there needs to be recognition. I don't believe in full-term abortion because it just seems like you've waited way too long to figure this out. You should have known this. Things should have clicked in your head well before 9 months. I think unless there's a danger to the woman, or it was incest or rape, and they finally escaped their rapist, incester, or whatever, that about 3 months, unless it's rape or incest, and then it's boom. Because you might have been kidnapped or whatever and held for a length of time where you don't have that window open to you. See how nuanced it can get? It can get even more nuanced if you want. But that's as far as I'm willing to go on that particular subject. Now, all that being said, we are screwed if we can't get the House, the Senate, and the presidency. That's the things we need. There are reasons we need those things, because we can't get anything done with the way the House is running right now. We can't get anything done in the Senate because they have a majority, which is only 1 or 2, I think. Possibly 3 now because George Santos is a fucktard. And the people who voted for him aren't any better, to be honest. Okay, that's a stop. Okay. But think about what I said in the beginning. Democrats do not care. They are not making any effort to find out what the hell is actually going on. They are not making any effort to learn what is actually occurring. They're only hearing their echo chamber, and their echo chamber says, "Oh, you man bad! Oh, you man bad!" And that's all they hear. And the ones that do know, the ones that do listen, the ones that do check other sources, don't care. Just don't care. They hate Republicans. It's a blind hatred. Like white supremacists hate black people or Jews. It's a blind hatred. Like Hamas hates Jews. It's a blind hatred. There is no basis in fact. And there's no reason to believe anything that comes out of their mouths anymore. Or most of the media for that fact. I am telling you right now, they don't care, and the ones that do know just want to hurt you. There's no reason for this, and I had no idea where this came from. Outside of as we came out of the Clinton years in the White House. I didn't hate Bill Clinton, I voted for him. The option was not great anyway. But I voted for the guy. I think impeachment is a fool's errand, especially if you don't have both the House and the Senate, and you got to have a 2/3 majority in the Senate to actually impeach somebody. Or actually convict somebody, I should say. It's almost impossible, and we saw it from, let's see, so far, we've seen it from, come on now, think. Reagan was impeached, or they attempted to impeach him. It didn't go anywhere. Nixon, probably the first one he's the first one that I remember being impeached. Being impeached, and he resigned before they could convict him because he was told, Spiro Agnew told him, you're not going to win this one. You might as well just get out. It'll be better for you. A conviction could have put him in prison. So there you go. Both Reagan and Bush Jr. were impeached or were threatened with impeachment. And now we have a president who is I'm going to quote now, a sympathetic fool, basically not fool, they call him fool, a sympathetic old man with memory issues. I don't think you could get much more political than saying the guy's a fucking idiot and he's dangerous because he can't remember what he fucking had for breakfast. Which is probably the same goddamn thing every day. Shot in the ass. At any rate. And they're convicting or trying to convict ex-President Trump not because he actually did anything outrageous, unlike our current president. Not that he did anything outrageous. Certainly not something that carries any weight. The Stormy Daniels trial right now is actually most of the indictments that are in that trial have hit their statute of limitations before he was even out of office. And yet they brought those charges back. I don't know how they do that. I mean, I'm sure there's a legal loophole somewhere in New York because it's fucking New York. But I don't know how they pull that stunt without going, I don't know, man, our hypocrisy's pretty deep here. I think we might be up shit creek without a paddle. Or half a paddle. I don't know. telling you right now, they don't fucking care, and they don't like you. Vote. That's the only way to get these fuckers out, and we have to vote en masse. Meaning we all have to vote, and we all have to agree that the fucking sky is blue, for God's sake. I'm ranting and I'm driving on a freeway. Probably not the best two things to do. Thanks for listening to me rant. I really do appreciate that. Hit the like button. Leave a comment. That really helps us with the algorithm, because I only got like 30 of you people. And I'm not even positive I get that many. I know I don't get that many viewers. But I have 30 subscribers or something like that. Send this around. You know, put it out on your Facebook page. Put it out on your X. Put it out on your Instagram. Let people know that there's somebody else out here that thinks the way you think. You're not alone. You are not alone. That's important. Okay, remember, even fluffy bunnies have teeth and claws for a reason. I just saw some great video of a bunny taking on is it a coyote, I think? My wife sent it to me. I'm gonna hook it up and put it up here. Anyway, thanks so much. I've spent way too much time on this. I apologize. Have a great day. See ya!